Hello, my lovely and beautiful Geminis. As I hope that your life is beautiful as it ought to be. Obviously, all of my twins out there, this is your reading from Madame Zezuba, the world's most accurate oracle. And as usual, we're using the card Use Against Humanity because Cards Against Humanity goes where no other reading goes before or after or during or whatever. I always find that these provide a deeper penetration than other readings. And we'll certainly go where no one has gone before in this reading today, darlings. Right now, I'm just shuffling for Gemini. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Oh, Spirit. We need guidance for our Geminis. So if your sun or moon is in Gemini, or if you have Gemini rising in your chart, or if you know any Geminis in your life and you want to have a better understanding of what's happening for them, this reading is for them and for what will be happening for the week commencing the 2nd of December 2024. Okay, let's start with here. Okay, first position, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we are. 13 places now. Okay. So, now, in the first position, this is the position of the initiating spark of the incident that is contextualizing the whole reading. And this is the magic of live theatre. Now, we're looking at a situation where people have been acting. They have not been... It's a performance, darling. We're looking at some performance. A performance that has created magic, a performance that has perhaps amused, entranced, enhanced, perhaps. We're looking at a situation, a performance, or something that's happening in a public arena before an audience. Nevertheless, there is this implication that somehow the situation that was that has arisen was scripted in some way, pre-planned. We're looking at something that's happened in public that was pre-planned. This is a situation where those involved have been, might even have been rehearsing the situation before it went, shall we say, live. So let's look at that. Interesting. I don't know quite what to make of this yet, but the readings always reveal themselves in the end. So, in your current self, you are bananas. Okay, the situation has made you crazy. It's a crazy-making situation. You suspect that there has possibly been inauthenticity on the parts of the people around you. They have tried perhaps to entrance you with the magic of their performance, but the only result is that you are feeling a little bit crazy. For Geminis, being, of course, the sort of people that you are, there's always a sense of two sides to every situation. But in this case, I think Spirit is quite clear that this situation has been a little bit crazy-making for you. In the past, the situation has created negative situations, negative energies that have influenced the contextualization of this, and those negative situations of sunshine and rainbows. This is very interesting because sunshine and rainbows are normally a positive thing, but here they are again in a negative position. So what Spirit is telling us here, darling, is that here, sunshine and rainbows again are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide, as goes the song. We're talking about a situation of illusion. Someone is setting you up, darlings. Not necessarily with a bad intention. However, the performance and the scripting of the situation has resulted in illusions that have been crazy making for you, for whatever reason. Positive forces in the past, fragile masculinity, very interesting. I'm beginning to see a pattern here, darling. So what's happening here is a situation of men or male energy out of a need to create a more positive impression, have scripted a situation in a public arena containing illusions, but somehow it's resulted in you're feeling crazy. Now, it isn't necessarily a bad crazy. It could be that the situation was so unusual. Maybe it was a great romantic gesture, or maybe it was a situation in your personal life that somehow was supposed to be lovely and beautiful, but has nevertheless a bit backfired, darling. A bit backfired. Maybe not necessarily in a bad way. It could be like, oh, this is crazy, it's making me realize very nice. So let's have a look at further situations. Let's look at what other people are being. Gay conversion therapy. Oh, interesting. Oh, there are layers, darling. There are layers. Rainbows, gay conversion. There's a connection here, sweetie. Sweetie darlings. Yes, obviously what's happening is that there is a sense of an event that has been a little bit crazy making for you, that was planned in a public arena. Fragile masculinity, gay, sunshine and rainbows. For all of those LGBT people out there in the dark, perhaps this has a meaning. But for those who are more, shall we say, heterosexually inclined, this could also indicate a situation of your concept of masculinity, your concept of what is male has perhaps been challenged. Not necessarily in a bad way. However, if the situation continues in its current state, we'll end up with firing a rifle into the air while balls deep in a squealing hog. Oh, okay. A lot more drama. A lot more theatre. A lot more incompatibility, let's say. There is something about this situation that is really causing you to question your concept of reality. This is a concept of reality based on what is appearing before you. Perhaps long entrenched beliefs. However, the card in this position also implies a commitment to a rather unusual course of action, possibly in reaction to this situation. Now, if this situation continues as it is, the negative consequence will be a fart so powerful that it wakes giants from 1,000-year slumber. So we're looking at a situation, I guess it all depends on what hole is being penetrated here, darlings. We're looking at a situation which said it's negative, so it's really stinking. I don't think that this situation is necessarily a pleasant one. It started off possibly out of a sense of, probably with good intentions, but something about your interpretation of the situation is leading us down a rather nasty path which we don't necessarily want to go down. However, if you maintain the current situation, the situation maintains and says a fuck ton of almonds. That's very interesting. Almonds, nourishing nuts. Nourishing nuts. Well, what I'm getting out of this reading, darling, is that You will still derive some nourishment from the situation. However, it may be a little too much of a good thing. However your reaction to this situation unfolds, should you continue to maintain the same energy, I don't see a good thing coming out of this if you stay the way you are. Darling, Spirit is going to suggest that you become a different version of yourself, and that will be revealed in this card. An old guy who's almost dead. We're looking at a situation. Spirit is asking you to seek the wisdom of a person in authority. You will know who this person is, because Guy is very, 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 very ambiguous. Doesn't necessarily mean a male person who's almost dead. I think Spirit is asking you to look within, but also without. You need to become this person, or at least to take on this person's energy. Perhaps you need to read from the conclusions of an autobiography or a biography of someone at the very end of their lives. There are, for example, places where you can go where you can understand people who are near the end of life, and just maybe you know someone who is near the end of their life, and asking them for counsel and guidance. What would this situation? What if you were in my place? You should ask this person, what would you do? What have you learned from all your life? It needs to be somebody of extreme age and maturity. It needs to be somebody who's learned a lot, who's been to a lot of places, who's been there and done that. You need to have that sense of someone who has been very, very, very much experienced in their lives. Now, if you go down this path and you do seek the counsel and you take on the counsel of that other, there will be blowback. The wonders of the Orient. Interesting. The East. Something will be coming from the East. I don't know what that means specifically for you, darling, because after all, this is a general reading and it's up to you to contextualize it. It could also be that this card is related to this card, I think. And it might be that you need to seek the counsel of an Asian, or someone who has spent a lot of time in Asia, or it could be asking you for Asian wisdom from someone who has a lot of authority, of a very mature kind. The energies that are supporting this transformation into a person of Oriental wisdom, darling. Oriental wisdom. Seek Oriental wisdom. And you will be supported by a super soaker full of cat pee. This is in a positive position. Therefore, what do we know about cat pee, darling? We know that it can be very pungent, especially if it comes from a male cat. In this position, though, it is being used as a weapon. A super soaker is, after all, a sort of gun, marking territory. That's what's happening here, darling. Marking territory. I think it's time in this situation that you really need to set parameters. You need to set limits. You need to set guidelines, boundaries. It's a boundary issue, darling. This situation, although it might have been well meant, has forced you to re-examine your boundaries, and you need to re-establish them from a position of wisdom, aged wisdom, possibly Oriental wisdom. The other thing that you will be getting in your favour is doing the right thing. You will know the right thing to do once you've established your new authority, darlings. You will know what to do and what steps to take after you have sought the counsel of an elder, and after you have sought the counsel of, shall we say, more Oriental wisdom. This is about setting boundaries, setting guidelines, and not allowing those boundaries to be violated. Not in a bad way. I don't think that this is a very bad situation, but it has created a lot of drama, possibly needless drama, possibly because of more your reaction, darling. I think you need to take responsibility for your reaction in this case, rather than what was originally intended. You will know what to do. And the ultimate result of all of this, when you come to it, is your genitals. Well, not my genitals, darling, I don't have any, being a disincarnate spirit. However, in your case, in this particular case, we're looking at the sensitive parts of your body, of your anatomy, not only your physical anatomy, but your spiritual anatomy. We're looking at your power to procreate, your power to engender new life, but also from where your life force originates. I think that out of all of this situation, what Spirit is telling you is that once you seek the guidance of a wiser, older being, who's been there, who has done that, and has possibly been in the same situation once, this may surprise you. They might reveal that to you. They will surprise you. And you will have a greater understanding of who you are in the world, where you're coming from, and how to proceed forward. I think that's very clear. I hope this has been of help to you, darlings. Feel free to take some time to ponder this situation and ask yourself who you're going to ask for further information from. There is somebody in your life. If they're not already there, they will be coming in soon. They will provide the guidance necessary for you to know that you will be doing the right thing. You will be marking your territory, setting your setting your parameters, setting your limits, establishing your territory. And as a result, you'll be a stronger, more powerful version of yourself. I wish you all the very best, my little twins out there. Until next week, from Zezuba, it's bye-bye.